We are honored and pleased to welcome back our good friend Cecilia Zalkind, who is President and CEO, Advocates for Children of New Jersey. Cecilia, good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
We're working together on a new initiative. It is called Right from the Start, NJ, dedicated to dealing with important issues involving infants and children. What are those key issues?
Well, I think this is the first time that our state has looked in any unified way at the birth to 3 needs of children. We know so much more now about brain development. This is such a critical time for learning and development. It's a time to really support parents as their child's first and best teacher. It's a time to make sure that children have access to adequate health care. And it's also a time to look at our child care system and whether it's providing the early education that young children need.
Let's talk specifically about state policy. We're interviewing legislators, others who are involved in this issue, who have the ability to have impact. But the question is, impact on what? If we were going to change state policy, what would it look like and how would it benefit the babies and infants we're talking about?
Well, I think there are a number of directions we could go, but to me, the most urgent issue is child care for babies. We have a child care system that I think is imploding. And it's an issue for low-income families who depend on state assistance for child care. It's an issue for middle-income families, too. It's very hard to find good center-based child care for babies.
How would people, first of all, making the decision as to where your baby, where your child should be in a center that's caring for him or her, how would they even know what's best?
Well, interesting you should ask that. We've just engaged on some focus groups with parents. We launched it on Sunday in my home in Montclair. I live in a neighborhood with many, many young families. And we brought about a dozen mothers together and said, you know, how did you choose childcare? And what I discovered was that it doesn't matter whatever your economic status is. It's expensive, it's frustrating, it really causes a lot of stress, very hard. Surprise to me, there are not that many options for center-based childcare for babies.
Really?
Really.
And so when people make that decision, how much does economics play a role in it?
Well, I think, yes, for families, economics plays a role. What was interesting to me were these parents were talking about wanting to find a center that they thought their child would be safe and taken care of, that would support their work hours that they could depend on. And money actually took a second back step to that.
You know, when I was writing an article for New Jersey Monthly magazine. I write a monthly column there, and I wrote on this topic, and I actually had an opportunity to talk to you about this. And you said it was a lot of it, the economics has to do with reimbursement. Help us on this. Reimbursement of what, to whom, for what?
Okay, so when we talk about childcare, we're really talking about all parents. But there's a group of parents who are low income. They make less than $40,000 a year for a family of 4. They're eligible to get some state assistance. They have to contribute to that. It's not free, but they can get a child care voucher that they can use in a program. Our state has not raised those reimbursement rates since 2008.
What impact has that had?
It's had a huge impact. We've seen programs go bankrupt, programs close, but the most important thing is it's made access to care for babies far less than it is. It's hard to begin with. So we estimate there are about 27% of babies, about 207,000 babies with parents in the workforce.
How many?
207,000, 0 to 3, parents in the workforce in New Jersey.
Wow.
Those are babies with both parents, or if it's a single family, the mother or father in the workforce. We looked at center-based care, this licensed care. There are spaces for about 27% of those children.
That's it?
That's it. That's it.
We need greater capacity.
We need greater capacity.
We need the next governor. By the way, in our gubernatorial special with Ambassador Murphy and Lieutenant Governor Guadagno, we asked about this question and what their policies would be with their, they had no idea the question was coming. Would a new governor, does a new governor and potentially a new legislature have the ability to significantly impact this area?
Yes, I believe they do. I believe a new governor has to pay attention to this. I think there are many child care issues around access, cost, capacity, and certainly quality, but the issue of having enough spaces for babies so that parents can work and children can be in environments that support their development, that to me is urgent, something the governor needs to do on day one.
By the way, real quick, before we finish up, the initiative is called Right from the Start, and Jay, there's going to be a website connected to it as well, and it'll link to your site. Here's the thing that I want to make sure people understand the minute we have left. Explain to folks why again, because there's been this whole pre-K, universal pre-K. There was $25 million more in the budget this last time in New Jersey for expanding pre-K. This is not pre-K, right?
No.
This is before that.
Yes.
Explain to folks in the minute we have left, see, once again, why this is so critical.
Well, 20 years ago, this is what pre-K was. People didn't understand why children 3 and 4 years old should be in formal pre-K programs with a focus on education. But we know now that the brain doesn't start developing at age 3. It starts at birth. And a lot of brain development, building the brain architecture, starts then. That's when children need to be in good environments to support that development. Parents need support, but for all those babies with parents in the workforce, they need a safe, high-quality place to support that development. That's education. It's education at the earliest time.
And by the way, lip service doesn't get it done here, does it?
No, it doesn't. Not now. This is a system that's been starved for a long time. And I think this is something the new governor can take on immediately.
Cecilia Zalkind is president and CEO of Advocates for Children of New Jersey. Check out their site. They give important information every day about the state of our children, particularly the most vulnerable in our state. As always, thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
That was great. That was good.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Agnes Veris NJTV studio at 2 Gateway. Funding has been provided by New Jersey Sharing Network, the TURRELL Fund, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, Georgian Court University, Valley National Bank, the New Jersey Association of Health Underwriters, and by Fedway Associates. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by Observer New Jersey Politics.